Hello YouTube fans, here again. Wishing everybody a nice happy Halloween and so on. Why not, why not? So without ado, I remember talking about the history of Halloween, the original, the classic Halloween. I remember talking about Halloween 2, or the history, and a bit about Halloween 3, the history. There's something people may or may not know. That is 1981. Just like in 78, well, also same year, so say 1981, they did a TV version, about coughing, a TV version of Halloween. But basically, the stabbing of the sister wasn't as bloody, wasn't as long. Some of the deaths were mild down, but there was a lot of dialogue, which you remember me saying when the original Halloween come out. When Halloween 2 come out, they did the same thing. I think 81, 82, they did an ABC TV version. It's never been done before when you think about it, apart from when they did John Carpenter's The Thing. They did a televised version of that, which the Americans were the only ones to have to look for that. And there's a bit of me that wish I would have seen it, even though it's cut down, the violence isn't that bloody, the jaw isn't that bloody, and so on. But it still would have been interesting. Because the start's different, the middle's different, the ending's different. There's a lot more stuff that wasn't in the theatrical version of Halloween 2. And this is what I'm going to get into. So you first off get the scene where it shows Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode getting tagged to the obstacle, the ambulance drivers. There's a lot more. But before that, you do get the scene where Michael gets shot. They have the fastback. But there's a funny bit. If you remember in Halloween 2, there's a bit where John Loomis is running out and his dad saying, just took a treat. I've been took a treat to death tonight. And then Dr. Loomis says a line, you don't even know what death is. But the funny thing is, he never says that, Dr. Loomis. He just stares at him and then runs off. But before you get that, you just get the opening with the pumpkin. It turns into that skeleton's face. You got the cheapy music, that cheapy theme tune, and so on. So there's definitely a lot of difference in it. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a lot of dog got killed. What's been nipped out, like the bit I mentioned where the girl's walking in the house and Michael jumps out and you see him stab her. You don't actually see that. There's a funny bit where there's a couple, it's in the theatrical, and they're watching a bit of the original 60s Night of the Living Dead. And the old woman touches a bit of blood in the steam. And the funny thing is, this bit never really made sense to me. Never made fucking sense. And the bit I'm on about, the old woman's looking, right, she turns round and all they do is use a paused photo of Michael Mathis. Remember the bit where he dips a woman's face in boiling water? They just use a pause of Michael Mathis's face like that, just looking like a fucking knob. And the next minute, you hear the old woman steaming and then you just see Michael just walking off. And I'm thinking, what the fuck's that all about? Because he doesn't say he kills them. Don't know what he's fucking done them in. You don't see that. Don't see fuck all. You just see a picture. It's hard to explain, but not a bit where he's dipping that woman's face in water and you see him stare at her before he does that. You just see a picture of his face like that. The old woman's looking, she's steaming, and the next thing, it just cuts to Michael walking out the door. It's like, what the fuck's that all about? There's a few little bits here and there what are different. The bit where Michael Mathis kills the security guard and he bashes his head in Halloween 2, that's, you don't see. You see a bit of music, and you see Michael walking down the stairs. You see the security guard looking all over the place. Again, there's just those bits that you've seen here at the end, or a bit of the middle where Michael's walking down the stairs chasing Laurie. You just, all you do is use that. It's hard to explain. You use that, you've got a bit of music, and then when it gets to Michael about to twat him on the head, you don't see him getting twatted. do sort of see that woman who's having hanky panky, but instead of seeing her boobs, it must have shown the one that was timmed down. You just see half her boobs being covered, and but you don't actually see her face get dipped in hot water. And I'm just assuming he must have just drowned her. But you don't see most kills in it. Most of the stories there's like the doctor with an eagle in his eye, the bit where the nurse gets an eagle in her eye, it's a bit in traffic. You don't see that. The bit where this nurse has got a thing on her arm and it's just using blood, you don't see that. You do see a funny bit. If I remember rightly on the Terrifies one where Jamie Curtis is having a fastback about the buffer. You do see like a kid's voice saying that in the background. There's one bit I wouldn't have minded cheaping for the theatrical. There's a bit where it's played by Laurie Strode, again played by Jamie Curtis, is acting the way she is, why she's set to tonic, where she's doped as a fucking fart. There's a bit of that what it explains, because it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. But there's a bit where they dope her up more. There's a bit where they're putting more needles in her arm to dope her up, and that explains later on when she has that allergic reaction and why she is the way she is. They overdope her up, being dopey fuckers. I wish that was in the theatrical. It would have made more sense of why she is, why she is. I know I said in the secondary read, why is fucking Laurie Strode doing fuck all, just lying around with a fucking silly fucking wig. There's your fucking answer, and that would have explained it more. So, but this one good bit in it, like I said, there's a bit where Michael stabs a fucking doctor, you don't see him get the throat slit, that was timmed down. And again, the bit where the lad falls on the floor, the alter that where Dr. Humors bowls Michael up, so you just assume that explosion knocked him on the floor, even though we all know he slipped on blood. But this one bit I fucking missed it, would have tapped, because there's a different ending, right, where Laurie Stoker's getting taken in the ambulance, and then you think Michael's lying there, he's going to come up and get her, but he doesn't. It's that lad. The lad that gets hit in the theatrical one, he did not know whether he was dead or alive. If I've never seen Halloween 2, you know what I'm on about. The original 1981, Halloween 2, you know what the fuck I'm on about. Because there's a scene where the lad goes in the car and Laurie's staring at him, and he says, I'm going to get you some help now. I'm going to... Boom, falls down, beats the oar. David Churches pushes his head back, and you don't know if he's dead, alive, or he's just knocked out. Well, in the TV version, that had the ending where, like I said, the lad pops up, he's fine, he's a bit dizzy, he's got a bandage on his head, but he's fine. And then Jamie Lee Curtis, says Laura, starts crying and says, we've done it, and they sort of like hold hands, and the ambulance drives off, and then you got that song, Mr. fucking Sandman, Mr. Sandman, baby a Jeep, and then you get the Halloween theme. And I wish that would have been the ending in the theatrical, because I sort of like that ending, because I like that lad. You know what I mean? We all remember him in The Last Starfighter. Yes, he made mistakes. He appeared in the shitty Doors to My Friends. I liked it on the worst sort of films. But there is a bit of me what would have loved to see what it would have been like. Because I liked him. You didn't know whether he was dead or alive in the theatrical one. You never do know that. Is he dead? Is he alive? Is he knocked out? What the fuck was his story? But in the Terrifies one, they give him a lot more to do. They have an ending where you find out he isn't dead, he was just knocked out, he's got a bandage on his head. She holds his hand, the ambulance drives off, and I like that sort of ending. That's the only bit I would give the TV one something. There's a few bit more here and there to tell a lot. There's a bit what was not in the theatrical. Because in America it was only paid for TV, naturally most of the Dory deaths were cut out, like I just said. We ran back. Needle in the eye, the doctor, needle in the eye, Michael jumping up and stabbing that babysitter. You don't, well, not babysitter, stabbing that door in the house. Like I say it again. Bit where Michael jumps up, stabs that door. You don't actually see that. You don't see that. And some of the deaths is timmed down. the bit where the nurse is, you can see her tits. You don't see them. Her tits are sided off. You just assumed he was drowning her, but you don't actually see the full on bit of the face getting burnt. Like I say, a few of the deaths not in it. The bit where they see Michael and you think it's Michael when he gets hit by the car. Oh, I almost forgot. The bit where the cop pulls the blanket to feel his dead daughter, you don't actually see a body. For some reason, you don't see the body. You see him pull the blanket, see a little bit, and then you just see the cops look at his face, and that's it. So there's definitely a lot of difference in the televised version. Like I say, you don't ever get to see the luxury of it in TV back in that heyday. And it's one of them, they've got the boldest features out there of Halloween 2. Could the peas with Southern on top, bring out the televised version? It was only ever sold in America, back on the APC channel, the channel I fucking hate. But it was only ever sold back then in 1981. You can find bits and bobs off YouTube. The original ending with that lad, the one I just said. The original ending of the guy that shoots Michael, the stupid serif who gets his throat slit. That death scene's altered in the TV one. You just see him get stabbed and that's it. So there is, I'm not talking about my ass. There was a televised version of Halloween 2 with a few bit more here and there, the dialogue, what's not, and few footage, what was not in the theatrical. Again, if you're going for blood and gore like the theatrical version of Halloween 2 from 1981, you're going to be disappointed because it's made for TV. You're not going to see it, it's not going to be as violent. But if you're interested in seeing a few bits here, little bits there, what were added on, what was not shown in the theatrical, there you go. But into them people, bit of history about Halloween 2 from 1981. But into them, be smart, be safe. See you later.